Good morning, all participants. We are in the final phase preparation of AQR. Today is the fourth day. We have a noted speaker, Gauri Devasthale from Abhida Inandar College, Pune, known to be one of the finest speakers from the lot. She will be talking on criteria 7 and she'll also be talking on part A. We will then be having our questions. And there's something more that I wish to tell you, and that happens to be we like to have feedbacks. So those who wish to give their feedbacks, I request them to please put it in the chat box. And we don't want a feedback saying this is good, this was very nice, this is very fantastic, all speakers spoke very well. We want feedbacks which are very, very genuine, which are not skin deep. So those who wish to give the feedback, just put it in the chat box so that we can record it out and we will give the opportunity for you to talk out. So with this very brief introduction of Gauri, and also that I wish to make a mention, I am also thankful to all my clusterites who have been present for the entire program, all the days, despite they being very, very busy. Yesterday there was a message on the WhatsApp group that you all wanted the presentations. These presentations will be made available to you on the Snow Pandit, that is our LMS. They will be available. You can download them. You can keep them with you, not an issue. So with these very brief introductory remarks, Gauri, I request you to please start with your discourse.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the introduction. And without any other thing, let us start with the presentation. So can I share my screen?
Please.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, I hope it is clearly visible.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Okay, so coming to the last day of this program, or what you can say workshop for AQAR filling. Today we are going to talk about criteria 7 and part A. Now in continuation with all the criteria, first I will cover criteria 7 and in the end we will talk about part A, which is not very difficult to do. So coming to criteria 7, you can see that what the focus is on here. So the focus areas of criteria 7 is about environmental consciousness, sustainability, the facilities for differently abled students, human values, professional ethics, institutional distinctiveness. These are the major questions. And then we have small questions on gender equity, inclusion situatedness, best practices, of course, is a big question to answer, 20 marks over here in the SSR, and green practices and initiatives. So these are the 8 major questions or areas where you need to focus when you're going to talk about criteria 7. Another important point that I would like to mention here is that when you will be filling your SSR, you don't have any opt-out option in criteria 7. You will have to answer each and every question, and therefore I would like to suggest that you start preparing for criteria 7 from the very beginning, because you cannot leave out any question. In SSR, there are questions with very small mark weightages, 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks. And we sometimes try to ignore these questions because they are having less marks. But remember that here you cannot opt out anything, and every less marks or every question, even with 1 or 2 marks, is going to gain you lot of points in criteria 7. So coming to question 1, or the first matrix, that is 7.1. Institutional values and social responsibilities. In that first point, 7.1.1, is gender equity. What are the number of gender equity promotion programs organized by the institution? So this is the format that you will need to fill: the title of the program, the period of the program. If it's more than 1 day, then you will have 2 different dates. If it's only a 1-day program, you can have the same date here. Number of participants, and here they expect you to divide the participants into male and female, or other female and male. Okay, and you can go on adding the programs with the help of this button, like yesterday Ayub sir has already told you. Now, what all you can enter here, programs which you can enter in this table, they can be curricular programs like guest lectures or some workshops related to the syllabus, co-curricular activities, film screening, or debates, or such type of co-curricular activities, and also extracurricular activities related to, which you can put under the gender equity program. So here you can see I have listed some of the activities. So awareness programs, gender audits, awareness program for boys, especially programs to enlighten the girls and boys regarding their environment in the workspaces, programs inspiring women or girl students to take up different or special careers, then sexual harassment and anti-ragging programs, understanding the human society from feminist perspective. These are just some of the examples, which you will get an idea of what type of programs you can consider under this matrix. And gender sensitization workshop. So these are some of the examples which have been, which I have mentioned. Of course, related any programs that you take up can be added over here. Now coming to the next 7.1.2, environmental consciousness and sustainability. Or here they have given one more option to be added, that is alternative energy initiatives which can be used. And specifically you have to mention the percentage of power requirement. Here it can be of the college also, of course, met by renewable energy sources. So this specific question they are interested that you have to address. But along with that, you can also give the factors which you have considered for environmental consciousness or sustainability. So let us see what you can write over here. So if you have a biogas plant, if you have SANI bins or biomedical waste collection bins, then segregation of waste in different colored bins, dry waste, biodegradable waste, composting waste, then solar panels, recycling and reuse of waste, minimum plastic use, rainwater harvesting, or if you have a biogas plant in the on the campus where there are huge campus, e-waste recycling and proper disposal, water management, a controlled vehicle use or controlled vehicular pollution, no horn zone. So any of these parameters, if your campus is following, you can add it as an environmental consciousness or sustainability, of course, along with your value for reducing the energy use, that also has to be mentioned. So if you're replacing your electricity with solar panels, or if you're reducing the use of electricity by using LED bulbs instead of the normal bulbs or tube lights, or if you're using auto controlled bulbs which become on only with motion or light and which become automatically off, then also you're going to reduce your energy use. And in this way you can add to this answer or matrix. So percentage of power that the college is met by renewable energy sources like solar panels, LED bulbs. You can mention about solid waste management, e-waste, plastic, paper recycling, then composting, and whatever environmental awareness programs, trainings, rallies, tree plantation, whatever has been carried out in your institute, everything you can add in this matrix. So this is about 7.1.2, environmental consciousness and sustainability. I think the picture will make it more clear that what all you can add in this answer. Now, and one more thing, is your campus going green? Okay, green, clean campus. So what are the things that you can add here in the green, clean campus? Whether your building is following the architectural norms in infrastructure, does your college or institute have an environmental policy, that is proper waste disposal, proper water management, then proper recycling, reuse of some e-waste, paper, etc. Proper flex and signboards wherever necessary for vehicles, solar panels, Then fire audits, green audits, energy audits, all this also you can include in the environmental consciousness. Then carbon sequestration audit, vermicomposting, borewell pits, tagging of flora, fauna, botanical gardens, cactus gardens, then increased expenditure on green waste. If your institute is having an increased expenditure on green waste than the earlier year, then you can show that you are becoming environmental conscious. Then MOU for recycling of e-waste, solid waste, green certificates, or if your institute is having effluent treatment plant, that also can be included in the environmental consciousness. So any of these points shows that your campus is going towards a green, clean campus, which can be included in 7.1.2. Now coming to the next metric, 7.1.3, that is the items or facilities for the physically disabled. So here you have to mention the facilities. I'll show you in the next slide what the facilities are. Okay, you have to just tick yes or no and number of beneficiaries. Okay, so here again I have shown a picture of all the facilities that you can include here. So a ramp, a walker, a wheelchair if somebody is physically disabled and having a orthopedic problem, then examination scribes or writers during the exam, a braille software. Then you can also have a helpline for the differently abled students. So we have a helpline which we have put up in our college. Some of the teachers are there and what time they are available. So if the differently abled or Divyangan students, if they face any problem on the campus during this timing, then they will contact the particular teacher, and we have volunteers or teachers themselves will attend them if there is any problem. So such type of facilities you can have on your campus for the physically disabled students. So what are the facilities? When the arrow, when you will, this arrow will drop down here, what you will see that I am showing you here. So you will see if there is lift. So you say yes, no, and how many people are allowed to use it. Ramp, rails for the disabled, braille software, restrooms for physically disabled students, scribes for examination, special skill development programs, if any, for the blind or for the physically handicapped, like especially those who are having problems with the hands. If they cannot do their routine work, then are we giving them training, some special skills training to do some other type of work. So all that you have to write here, yes, no, and the number of beneficiaries. So you should have record of number of disabled students or specially able students rather in your college. How many of them, there is a percentage of blind students, deaf students, or orthopedic problem students, and how many of them are admitted and they are using the facility, so that you will be able to fill this matrix very easily. Okay, so this is about the 7.1.3, what all you can fill and how you have to fill it. Then next is 7.1.4, that is inclusion and situatedness. So here in this table, you have to have year. Now, obviously AQR is for one academic year. So if you are filling the AQR for 1920, it will always be 1920 only. The number of initiatives taken for the advantages and disadvantages of the local to address the location, number of initiatives taken for the community to address the local community problems, the date, the duration, name of the initiative, issues addressed, and number of participating students and staff. So again, all data you have to keep this ready, and you can go on adding the number of initiatives using this button here. Now, what all we can add here? So you can add the visits, industrial or institutional visits for acquainting students with the real life situation. So depending, this will be in your locational advantage. If you have institutes or industries near to your college or higher HI, then you can take this advantage. Then arranging employment fairs in the institute. So if you have 2-3 colleges in the vicinity, or if you have corporate offices in the vicinity, you can arrange employment fairs, not only for your students, but for 2, 3 or more institutes in the nearby vicinity. If the institute is in a rural area, then you can take up programs for the community, that is educating the adults, or you can take up some donation programs, you can take up tree plantation programs, or you can take up medical checkup, health checkup programs for the in the rural areas. So these type of community address programs addressing the community issues also can be taken up. So this can be a locational advantage and also a community addressing program. Of course, for rural areas, you will have locational disadvantages also at times. So how you address that? If you have taken up any workshop or any program for that, because you have to address both advantages and disadvantages. Then in situations of disaster management, you can take up to serve a place. Like a few years back, there was a landslide in Marin village in Maharashtra. So some of the colleges, they had their volunteers, NCC, NSS volunteers along with teachers. They reached over there and they tried to help the local people with lot of their issues. So such type of disaster management issues also can be handled depending on the location of your institute. So locational advantages, disadvantages, both should be addressed. But like there is a suggestion here that don't give too much on emphasis on disadvantage. You can list one or two, but see how you can make the best advantage of the location of your institute and how you take up the programs based on this. So all these are few of the examples only that I'm sharing. Related any more issues you can address and add over here. Then coming to 7.1.5, human values and ethics. So we need to have the code of conduct for students, teachers, for parents, rather it should be for all stakeholders. So we should have a small handbook you can have, maybe not a big one, but 10-15 pages is also okay, in which you will have to give that what is the type of behavior expected from the students, what are the roles or duties of teachers that are expected to be performed when you're on campus, and of course as parents what you expect from the stakeholders. And then there is a follow-up. There is 100, maximum 100 words, you can even write less than 100 words, that because of this code of conduct and its monitoring, how the institute has been benefited or what help you have got from because of this publishing the code of conduct. So the code of conduct is very important for any institution. What you need to highlight in the code of conduct is the hierarchy, the powers, and how the institute is going to function. Also the roles of each stakeholder in the functioning of the institute. Then the mandatory committees, who is the in charge of the committees, who will monitor the code of conduct. Suppose you are saying that the student should follow a particular discipline. Then do you have a discipline committee? And what action will be taken if this discipline is not followed on the campus? That also has to be written in the code of conduct book. Okay. The methods of grievance redressal, and a reference for this writing the code of conduct can be the Maharashtra Universities Act. We also have a UGC code of conduct for teachers. This can be used as a reference. Then we also have university statutes, which can also be used for a reference, in which you will get how many leave the teachers will be given, how many casual leaves, how many medical leaves, how many lectures every teacher or classes that every teacher is expected to conduct, what should be the mode of conduct of classes or teaching, practicals, etc. So there should be a proper handbook which will define all these roles and what action will be taken in case these roles or this behavioral pattern is not fulfilled. That also has to be written, and this has to be uploaded on the website, on the college website. That is very, very important. Okay. The next matrix is 7.1.6, that is activities conducted for promotion of universal values and ethics. So table is very simple to fill. What is the activity, the duration, and number of participants. So here again I have put up a few photographs. So Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, so you know Savitribai Phule laid the foundation of women education, and basically initially when our college was established, it was a girls' college, and later on we converted it into a co-ed college. So every year on the birth anniversary of Mahatma Phule or Savitribai Phule, we go to Phulewada and we pay our tribute along with the students. Even our management members join us. So this is a promotion of universal values, ethics. Then you can see we celebrate the special days like Constitution Day, of course, Republic Day, Independence Day, Gandhi Jayanti. These are mandatory to be observed in all the institutes, and of course celebrate also. But apart from that, we also can have some other days which are celebrated. So we can have the celebration of Unity Day, Constitution Day, AIDS Awareness Day, Human Rights Day. So these are all, leading to the basic human values and ethics. Then we also can have some orphanage visit, blood donation camp, guest lectures related to human values, ethics, etc. Then we tribal exhibitions. So in our college, we have many students from the Northeast coming for MA, especially MA Sociology, MA Political Science. And these students, they arrange the exhibition of their traditional things or materials, dress material, jewelry, whatever they want. So we can have, unity in diversity type of exhibition here. And this can lead to the inculcation of values and ethics. Then we can have workshops on like national policies or any other current issues which will make the students aware of what is going on around them. So all these type of activities can be included in this table, that is 7.1.6. Of course, you need to have all the details of these, that like on what day the activity was conducted, what is the duration, number of participants. And when you make a report, of course, you will also have to write that what is the outcome, which values or ethics or promotion that you have done among your students, you were successful in that. Then the next is 7.1.7. Can I remove this bar? I don't know how to do it actually. Okay.
Which mark, ma'am?
This, yes. Now I can, I hope it's more clear now.
Yes.
So initiatives taken by the institution to make the campus eco-friendly. At least 5 initiatives you have to mention. It's a simple text that you have to type here. So again, here I want to show you some of the photos. So you can see here the tree plantation on our campus, very clean, neat roads. And beyond this point, no vehicles are allowed. You can only walk beyond this point. So no vehicle zone. Then here you can see that in a very deserted area behind our college building, we have constructed this type of greenhouses, and we can plant here special floral trees, and we grow some exotic plants. Then here you can see our students, they have made a nest, wooden nests for birds, and they keep water and some food grains. Once in a week, they fill these nests with food and water. So we have found that a lot of birds which initially were not being seen around our buildings, they have started coming here. So restoration, eco restoration for the birds, animals, etc. we are doing. And these type of walkways, lawns. So these are all the eco-friendly steps that you can take in your college or institute. So again, few examples I have mentioned over here. So pollution control, carbon footprinting, reduction in use of paper. So paperless office or paperless administration, plastic-free campus. We don't allow students to bring plastic bottles, or generally we don't promote the use of Bisleri bottles also. Even when we have guest lectures, we have our own metal or bottles or ये जो मटके रहते हैं, those things we fill with water. Generally, we don't offer water in the plastic bottles. Then reduced use of chemicals on the campus. Minimum chemicals we use, so that we also dispose of minimum chemicals. Okay, then we have composting pits. We make our own fertilizers for our campus gardens. We don't buy fertilizers from outside. We have put up rainwater harvesting system, natural ventilations, like I told you, the architectural norms in the buildings. Solar panels can be put up, biodegradable wastes preferably, and bio waste, segregation of the waste into e-waste, bio waste, biodegradable waste, and disposed to be waste. Then vegetable waste, or because we have canteens and food outlets, there is organic or vegetable waste that is generated. So we all this is put into composting pits. So these are some of the initiatives which you can take to make your campus eco-friendly, and you can see that how the campus has turned green over a period of few years. Then this was all about 7.1. So in 7.1 we have up 7.1.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 7 questions to be answered, and each one I have discussed with examples. Now coming to 7.2, that is the important question, in best practices of the institution. 2 best practices you have to write in 1500 words, and the format is also given. I will also share the format here. And those have to be uploaded even on the college website, and the link has to be provided here in the given box. Okay. So when you select your best practice, see that it is followed for a minimum period of 3 years at least. You cannot have a best practice that you follow this year and then leave it, and then next year another best practice. Of course, next year you will have to take up another best practice, but you also continue following the earlier ones. And most important is that you must be able to define properly the outcome of that best practice. That is what you have to actually show, the results and the outcome. So the best practice can be defined, which is exemplary. It should be set an example for other colleges around you. It should be unique. And like I said, it should serve as a benchmark for others or other institutions. It should help you to achieve your objectives in a better way with increased efficiency. So here you should have a brainstorming that which practice you should define as a best practice. Okay. So best practice should also help the institution in quality enhancement. Like I said, you should be able to show the outcome of that best practice. It can be implemented across all areas. So best practice can be in academics, so teaching methodologies. It can be co-academic, it can be administration. So not necessarily that always it should be related with teachers and students. You can have best practice related to examination. You can have best practice related to admission procedure. You can also have best practice related to e-governance, that is again here. Then outreach programs or your MOUs, networking, linkages, all this, it can be related to any one of the criteria, or it can also be a combination of more than one criteria, that you're doing some best practice in academic and you are getting some or outreach and you are getting the results elsewhere also in other criteria also. So define such activities, practices that you have been following consistently over a period of time. And then out of those, you can have to select the best 2 and add it to your AQAR. Now the NAAC has also published a best practice booklet, which is available on the NAAC website. So you can refer to this booklet. They have gathered best practices from different institutions which have received A grade or above, and they have collected these best practices and put it into a booklet. Otherwise, like we have seen that the best practices of every college have to be uploaded on their website. So if you visit the website of different colleges, you will get the best practices on their website. So you can refer to those and you can decide that what related activities you have conducted, which can be put up as a best practice. So you have a lot of scope here to do referencing, research, and then decide your best practice. Okay. So let us see some of the, this is the format for the best practice. So title of the practice, then objectives in about 100 words. So for every part of the practice also, the word limit is given. The context, 150 words. What the practice is in actual, that around 400 words. Evidence of success, okay, 200 words. So here you have to write the outcome of the practice, problems encountered and what resources you required to complete this practice, and notes. This is optional, okay? Now, if you are putting any notes, then give relevant information so that if when other colleges will see this best practice, it will be helpful for the implementation in other institutions. Otherwise, then it is optional. You need not write any notes over here. So this is the format. Format is given in the AQAR. It is also available on the NAAC website. Few examples I have given here. Of course, I cannot list. There are thousands of best practices. Like I said, every college will have 2 best practices every year. But few of the best practices which I have listed here is use of ICT in academics, administration, Then green campus initiatives. So I have shown you so many green campus initiatives: water conservation, recycling, e-waste management. Any one of them can be taken up as a best practice. Disposable of bio waste, where we have life science departments like microbiology. We handle microorganisms. So the best way, if they are disposed, so that you can take. Reforms in examination, then additional coaching, then women empowerment programs, promoting entrepreneurship, rural outreach programs, so networking, outreach programs, extension activities, and conducting various audits. We have green audit, gender audit, energy audits, academic and administrative audits. So all these can be taken up, or any one of these can be taken up as a best practices. And the last point that we are going to talk about in criteria 7 is 7.3, institutional distinctiveness. So here we have to provide details of the performance of the institute in any one area related to its vision, priority, trust in not more than 500 words. Okay. So in AQAR, we have 500 words to write this answer. In SSR, we have almost 1000 words to write this answer. So this is actually the only answer in the SSR where you really need to write a lot, that is 1000 words. But in AQAR, it is only up to 500 words. Again, the distinctiveness of the institution has to be put up on the website, and the web link for the same has to be provided so that the NAC people or the DVV partners can easily access the distinctiveness and the best practices. So what should be taken as a distinctive practice of the institution? So any the distinctiveness or feature of the institution. So any feature which portrays the performance of the institute in one area distinctive to its priority. So like I said, it should be related to your objectives, vision, mission, goals. Consider all these things when you are going to decide your distinctive feature. The answer should include all the details of the performance of the institution related to its distinctiveness. The institution should identify and define the distinctiveness clearly and should be able to analyze its outcome. And the evidence of the outcome should be visible. So the documents indicating the performance of and the outcome of the distinctiveness should be posted on the institutional website or in the prospectus. And of course, the web link also has to be provided. So again, just like best practices, here also the IQAC and the senior staff members along with the principal, maybe some of the CDC members also, you need to have a brainstorming sessions, decide one distinctiveness of your institute, how to focus on it, how to achieve more and more results related to the distinctiveness or outcome that you have to focus, take steps accordingly, and then you can, because when you will be filling SSR after 5 years, you remember that here you have to write a 1000 words, your institutional distinctiveness. So distinctiveness may be associated to one or more criteria. It may or may not be linked with the best practices. The outcome of continuous efforts in that particular area should be clearly visible. So these 3 points you have to keep in mind. And again, here there are some of the examples which can be taken up as an institutional distinctiveness. So vocational training or skill development programs, women empowerment, green practices, special recognitions for the institute like CP, Star College, NIRF ranking. These can also be the distinctiveness of the institute because not all colleges will get all these rankings. Life training programs, soft skill programs, if they are taken up continuously and the outcome you should be able to show. Then Center for Human Excellence, provision for budget for student scholarships, Industry Connect, Smart Campus, technology in teaching, learning. So all these can be the institutional distinctiveness. Okay. Then there is only one question in part A, that is the future plans for the next academic year. So every year when the year comes to an end, we need to sit, analyze ourselves, do the SWOT analysis. That is very, very important. And accordingly, we have to plan for the next academic year. So what challenges we have faced, where we have fallen short of, where we have achieved success, all this has to be considered, where we can do more better or far better, those points we have to have in the future plan of action for the next academic year. So here also again IQAC members, senior staff members, HODs, along with principal, director, they have to sit down and they have to write in precise words that what activities they should be taken up. Now this is very important because in next year you have to write that activity taken up and whether activity planned and whether it was successfully taken up or not. So this also has to be planned critically, and you have to write only those points which you think you will be able to successfully complete while filling up the next year AQAR. So this is a again simple textual answer, but it has to be critically done with the SWOT analysis of the current year. So with this we finish, okay, some of the things which can come in the perspective plan is recruitment. So if there are vacant positions in this year, then next year we plan to have 100% recruitment or new need-based courses. Then placements, this year it was less. So next year we plan to have more placement, improving research output, extension outreach programs to be increased or improved. If you feel that this year you could not fill something in the AQAR, then what next year you can fill up. So applications for DST FIS schemes, UGC schemes. This year we have not gone for NIRF ranking. So next year we'll go for NIRF ranking. So you have to decide, you have to see the institutional weakness, opportunities. So like I told you that when you write the future plan, you should have your SWOT analysis ready. And unless you do the SWOT analysis, timely SWOT analysis, we also don't realize that where we are falling short. So that is important, which has to be done before the planning. So with this, we have finished with criteria 7, and we will first complete part A and then we will go for discussion or questions. So coming to part A, actually you will start filling AQR with part A and then you will go to part B. So academic year in which the AQR has to be submitted. So this was for 80, I have taken screenshot of 18-19, but when you open your portal and when you go in for current year AQR, you will see the year over there. So very simple question, complete name of the college, name of the head of the institution, designation. So here it is either principal or director or whatever. And does the institution function from own campus? Yes, no. Phone number, that is landline, mobile, registered email IDs, alternative email ID. Here you can have the principal's email ID or you can have the IQAC coordinator's alternative email ID. Address of the college, city, town, state. So it is very, very simple. All these are just technical details which are already available with you, and you have to just fill in the details. Then institutional status, type of institution, location, and financial status. So here you have drop down arrows. So I will be showing you what it is. So in institutional status, either it is autonomous, constituent, or affiliated. In type of institution, either it is girls, boys, or both, co-ed. Location, you will see rural or urban. And financial status, it will be self-funded or self-financed, or whether it is financed by the state government. So you have to just drop down the arrow, select the right answer, just click on the right answer and it will appear in the box. So these are the options. And next you have to fill the details of the IQAC coordinator. So you have phone number or alternate number, mobile number, registered email ID and alternate email ID. So just like you have for the principal or director, you also have for the IQAC coordinator. Then website address of the college and web link of the previous AQAR. So you must have your previous AQAR on the website and its link has to be provided here. So the first 3 questions are 1, 2, 3 are all just technical details or personal details that have to be provided. Question 4, whether you have prepared the academic calendar during the year. Yes, no. Your academic calendar also has to be uploaded on the website. And if it is yes, the link to the academic calendar has to be provided. Then question 5, coming to accreditation details. So whether your college is accredited or not, and the details for every cycle has to be given. So here this table will appear like this. So for cycle 1, what is the grade? What is the CGPA? What is the year of accreditation? Validity period from this to this. Same way for cycle 2, cycle 3, year, then validity period, everything in the table you have to fill over here, and you can add the rows. If it is only one cycle, you will need only one row. After that, you can go on adding the rows. The date of the establishment of the IQAC has to be mentioned in question number 6. Okay, then coming to question number 7, internal quality assurance system. So in 7.1, quality initiatives taken by IQAC during the year for promoting quality culture. So what is the name of the initiative, the date, the duration, and the number of participants or beneficiaries. Again, you can go on adding here how many initiatives you have taken. So some of the quality assurance initiatives which have been mentioned by NAC that I have mentioned first. Okay, so that is the IQAC meetings, IQAC reports, feedback from the stakeholders, then audits, participation in NIRF or ISO certification, any other quality audits, then lecture series if you have organized for your students, like we have Babasaheb Jaikar lecture series, then we book exhibitions, interfaculty events, sports events, cultural events, faculty development programs, hands-on trainings or workshops. All these can be included in the quality initiatives of the IQAC. The next question is provide the list of funds by central, state government or other agencies. Here also you have to go on adding the arrows, and you have to also upload the special status if you have, like I said, the CSIR, DBT, or any special fundings projects going on. So this is the way you will have the table. So the institution or faculty or the department which has received the funds, the different schemes under which the funds have been received, the funding agencies, whether it is a BCUD, SPPU, central government, state government, even management, some NGOs are giving the funds, whatever. The year will be, of course, for that particular year in which you have received the funds, and the amount and the total. Okay. So a summary is to be uploaded in the tabular form here. You can go on adding the rows. So the here institution, department, scheme, agency, year of award, duration is for that 1 year, and amount. And documents, of course, although you don't have to upload, you have to keep ready each and every smallest document regarding funds. Of course, it will be always maintained in the account section, but also we also maintain though in the departments. If funds are coming to NSS, then our NSS officers will also have their audits, reports, everything ready. If some funds are coming for special lecture series or activity from an NGO or some sponsorship, then that particular activity, whoever is in charge, they will also have a copy of the all documents, plus it will also be in the account section. So you need to maintain very critically documents regarding funding for two reasons. One is academic, your financial audit statement, which is very important in criteria 4. And secondly, whenever you are uploading here any information, you should have supporting document ready for that. So this is about quality initiatives and funding. Yes, these are some more quality initiatives which can be taken up. Website updating, national seminar, newsletters with the colleges having, staff audits, annual planning, FDPs, formation of policies, processes, procedures, making the code of conduct handbook, then gender audits, academic audits, result analysis and action taken. All these are quality initiatives. These are some of the examples which can be taken up as the quality initiatives. Then question 9, whether composition of IQAC is as per the latest guidelines, yes or no, and whether it is uploaded on the website. Number of meetings held, here you have to put only number. The minutes of the meeting have to be uploaded on the website. I will be showing you how it is to be done. Whether IQAC received any funding, if yes, no. And then again, see here, this question is repeat. So contributions made by IQAC during the current year. So whatever special initiatives, here you can mention only the most important 5, which you feel is the real contribution of IQAC. So here you can see this is the composition of IQAC as per the guidelines. So the IQAC of the academic year was formed, constituted on this date. and the members are as follows. So we have mentioned here who is the coordinator, supervisor, management representative, science faculty representative, NSS program officer, students representative, office or non-teaching representative. So as per the guidelines mentioned in the AQAR guidelines, the IQAC is formed, and this is uploaded along with the stamp and signature on the website. And same way IQAC meetings also. So this is only the first page. We have around 12 to 15 pages uploaded on the website. So the notice, the agenda, the minutes, the action taken report special, that is very, very important. The action taken report should be there for every meeting that was conducted. And this has to be uploaded on the website, again, along with the signatures of the principal, IQAC coordinator. You also have the IQAC stamp on all the pages to make it more authentic. Then significant contributions, you have to upload a file. You have to type 5 bullets over there, and you can upload a file in Excel format of whatever you have done. And all our formats or files have to be in Excel. That you have to remember. You cannot upload PDF or Word files. You have to have the Excel. Then plan of action chalked out by the AQAC, by the IQAC in the beginning of the academic year, and the outcome. So I told you that when you are planning for the next year or early in the year in the beginning, so you have to also give the whether you could achieve or complete that planning, and whether you could have the expected outcome. So here you give the plan of action, and here you give the outcome. So when the plan is being prepared, we have to plan only in that way that we will be able to complete or achieve it. So the upload plan of action should be chalked out by the IQAC in the beginning of the academic year. For that, you have to do SWOT analysis at the end of the previous year, so that you can really plan for the next year. And the outcome achieved at the because of this planning has to be mentioned here. And again, the file has to be uploaded in Excel sheet. When the AQR is complete, whether the AQR was placed before the statutory body, so yes, no. So your statutory body can be governing body in autonomous colleges. It can be the CDC or local managing committee in case of affiliated colleges. So we do place our AQAR before the CDC, before any discussion, and before final submission. And if they want to add to it, if they have some suggestions, we make the changes, and then we upload the AQAR. So whether NAC or any accredited body has visited IQAC during the assessment year or during the AQR, so you can say yes, no. If yes, then which body has visited, whether you have gone for some other, like in 1920, so we had the autonomy committee visiting our college. So any other, so it was a UGC committee coming to our college for giving autonomous status. So that you have to write there, if yes, the date of the visit, and the report if they ask for it. Then whether institutional data submitted to AISHE, it is compulsory. Without submission of data to AISHE, we don't get any funds from affiliating university or from the BCUD, etc. So it is compulsory to submit this, and the date of the submission is very, very important. So when the AISHE data is submitted, automatically a certificate is generated. So with the IQAC must have this certificate. So in our college, I'm the IQAC coordinator, and I'm also the nodal officer for AISHE. So I myself, with the help of my office staff, submit it, and the certificate is downloaded immediately. So on the certificate, we have this date, and this date has to be entered on which date it was submitted to AISHE. Does the institution have management information system? So yes, no, and we have already seen in criteria 6 yesterday that we have to describe it in very short, the management system, what are the modules available, what is the e-governance that is going on in the college, that has to be written. Now, once all these questions are filled, then you can save and proceed to part B. So actually, we start with part A and finish, and then we start with part B, criteria 1, 2, 3. But for our convenience, as for the speakers, we have taken the criteria first, and then we have come to criteria 7 and part A. So once you fill the part A and all the criteria, then your AQR will be complete. You can just take the printouts, go through them. Once it is completely filled, place it before your senior staff or your LMC, CDC, take the suggestions, and then only once it is final, then only you can upload it or submit it on the portal. So thank you very much. With this, we come to the end of the presentation, and will stop sharing my screen. We can go in for any discussion or question answers.
Ma'am, almost we have answered almost all questions, barring 2 or 3.
Okay.
So shall we go for the questions? And
Yes, sir.
now participants are requested to put their questions in the question answer
Q&A.
session. So all these questions can be taken up. Thank you. Pardon, sir, you continue.
Sure. There is one question here actually in chat. Is by Dr. Jabam Singh. I have a question regarding the best practice. Like our institution is the only institution in the state having women's studies department. So the activities conducted by this department can be included as a best practice or not? Please let us know.
Yes. Women's Study Center or Women's Department, and actually the having the department is not a best practice. The activities and the outcome of that activities should be reflected in the best practice. That is more important.
Very true. But we have, let us look into can revaluation and photocopy be considered as a grievance? Grievances.
As a grievance? No, not actually.
That won't come here either. We conduct, Dr. Sudhakar Sambhaji Khoth has asked a question. We conduct an inter-class quiz competition for the past 24 years in a row. It is based on subject rounds as per MPSC subjects. It helped us to build up competitive examination orientation. Last year, due to COVID, we arranged it online. Can it be mentioned in the best practice? You can mention it in the best practice.
The best practice. Yes, I think so.
Yeah. May I add, sir?
Yeah,
Yes.
please, Himanta.
Yeah, Coach sir, you can definitely add it, but it has to be supplemented with the outcome. I mean, success stories should be you. There should be some students who have passed MPSC, because you are doing something, and if you are not getting outcome, it's not good to show it as a best practice. Best practice should be supplemented by the outcomes also.
Yes, sir. Shall I explain it, sir?
Yes, please, Ayub. Go ahead. Please add, Ayub.
And most of the time when the peer team visits to the institute, so if any best practice is related to any matrix, then so the peer team is going to ask about, so this is not your best practice, this is our best practice. And what Coach sir is mentions about the MPSC competitive examinations, already that is part of criteria 5. So it is better to have a best practice apart from the any matrix. So then the institute will claim very strongly.
In case you are going, in case the organization is able to show that the best practice is different from what has been mentioned out in the basic work, what is the best practice? Any practice where you are able to do it in a much better way, that becomes a best practice.
Yeah.
Then it can be counted.
Sir, one more thing.
Yeah,
one more thing, sir, I would like to add. I visited as a mock peer team member to one of the college near Akola. It's a Shivaji College, Akot. And they have a competitive study center which is run solely by the student. They have their independent library, they have a dedicated space. And when I visited as a mock team member, I could see 100 students sitting in that room. So that has created a positive impact as a mock team member on myself. So probably when the peer team visits, and if you have something, if you can add something like a center run by the student, a huge library you have, if everything is there, then probably you can definitely claim it as a best practice.
You should be able to show it is
rather
unique.
than answering it like
one of the colleges had made a mention of teaching as a best practice, but then they had come up with such a large number of teaching methodologies that that best practice was accepted. And they could show it out, they
Maybe,
could showcase it out that
yeah,
we use so many methods, and
yeah. New
whereby
pedagogies.
yeah,
New
a lot
pedagogies.
of new pedagogical techniques were used, technology was definitely used, but they could show it that this is different from what otherwise other organizations do. They could succeed it out over there.
And it also depends on way of presentation, because this is the arguments are there, the peer team and the coordinator argument, and in argument we have to present it, that how it is the best practice.
Yeah.
Because very cross question they are going to ask about at the time of the reactions for the best practices.
Well, since we are talking so much on best practice, let me just announce you that a national webinar on best practices, student satisfaction survey, feedbacks, and best practices and distinctive practices is being organized on 19, 20, and 21st of May. Please keep an eye on it. The announcement will follow, or the flyer will follow very shortly. So if there is any other question that we have, we have answered Khothji's question. Is best practice, is it that a best practice should be same for 3 years supplemented with activities? Ideally, you cannot say कि इस साल हमने ये किया और ये बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस होगी, क्योंकि जब तक आप उसको बेस्ट कब कहोगे ना, when are you going to call it the best? Unless you have done it at least twice.
Yes, long lasting it should be.
You are saying that हमने चपाती बनाई घर में, वो हमारी बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस होगी. तो जब तक आप 5 साल बढ़िया चपाती नहीं बनाते हो, तब तक वो अच्छी प्रैक्टिस नहीं बन जाती. और उसे दुनिया से अलग नहीं होती.
और अगर वो पूछेंगे सर अगर बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस है तो फिर डिसकंटिन्यू क्यों किया? And best is never discontinued. It should be continued for long.
It will go on. I will like to make. I don't know if Srihari is over here. Srihari has been continuing with the best practice of the snakes that are caught in the nearby vicinity. They are brought to the college, and they have a team of friends of these reptiles. They get them and then they release them back into the environment, so that the environmental balance is maintained. Also, the students there see to it that the snakes are not killed. So they are the friends of, in other words, snakes. This has been going on for years together, and they have been showcasing it for years together. So here you are able to see it's not so कि इतने साल होना चाहिए, 2 ही साल होना चाहिए, 5 साल होना चाहिए. If it is really wonderful, it can keep on improvising also. Don't take this word best as good, better, best.
Sir, yes, sir.
One more thing I would like to add, and see that best practice can be continued for as many as days, because outcome every year outcome would be different, participants would be different, maybe coordinators would be different. That's why best practice can be continued for as many as years, as long as you are getting output from that. If you are not getting output, then stop it. That is the best.
Yeah, the beneficiaries would also be different each year.
Yes, true.
And it should keep on improvising.
Yeah, there should be some improvement every year. There should be some improvement.
Plus, to add one new best practice.
Workshops for RUSA that cluster had conducted. I had conducted a workshop on best practices. That time it used to be live, physically. And we had taken a best practice that whether washrooms can be a best practice, and then how many things can be added to it. And the participants who had come from different states, from different colleges in Maharashtra, they could list out more than 140 things into it to make it a better practice, a best practice, and slowly how it led to distinctiveness. It's an example that we had taken. So you can have anything as a best practice unless you are really able to show that it is the best practice. You have really made it different from what otherwise it would be. Yes, if there is no other question, let's. And are there any hand raises?
There are many questions remaining still.
Okay.
There is from Dr. Prerna Diwan.
Okay.
Okay, that is already we have taken.
That is answered, sir.
Next is there is related to this present. Okay, it is by Dr. Radhika Deepak Dirmole. If present coordinator, then IQAC composition of 2019-20 or 2021 to be uploaded since some members of IQAC are changed. So that is what question to the Gauri ma'am. Composition.
Yes, so every year composition has to be uploaded for that particular year.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, because the meeting records will have their signatures, their attendance. So then you cannot upload one for 2-3 years. Okay.
Then there is one good question in the chat box too. I had seen just now, but sometimes it is missed. Okay, I'm not getting this question. It was always in prospectus. It's not that very clear. There are most of the compliments are there. There was one nice question in chat box, but somehow.
Thank you all for the compliments.
Okay.
We have already answered that question by Dr. Zaba Kusum.
Okay.
We have answered it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well. So this overall, they do not relate to any one particular criteria. What happens is colleges have to keep their legs on many stones at one and the same time. And that is really very difficult. For example, when Gauri was talking about Divyanga students, if a Divyanga student comes to me, I will definitely give him the admission. But how do I see to it that the Divyanga student comes to me? This is the big part. And this is where we are suffering from. Our problem is not that how will I treat the Divyanga student. I will definitely be treating fantastically. उसकी फी कम कर देंगे, उसको आना है तो आने दे, उसको जाना है तो जाने दे, उसके पास अगर कोई उसके साथ कोई आता है तो उसके लिए अलग रूम हम रख देंगे, उसको खाना देंगे, सब करेंगे, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. उसके लिए वो जो टॉयलेट सीट्स है वो चेंज करके देंगे. वी विल डू ऑल दिस. दैट इट्स नॉट वेरी एक्सपेंसिव. व्हील चेयर रखेंगे, कहोगे तो क्या कहते हैं उसको रैंप बनाएंगे, ये तो सब हो जाता है. पर प्रॉब्लम ऐसा है कि ये स्टूडेंट आता क्यों नहीं है हमारे पास. ये वाकई स्टूडेंट, ये हमारा प्रॉब्लम. It is primarily because we are not able to reach them. I don't know the current situation in SP College, but SP College in Pune had something like 28 such Divyanga students. How could they reach those 28 students in that year? This is the big part that we need to understand. Or Pune University, for example, has a center for Divyanga student and something like which is being governed by a Divyanga himself. And he is able to take care of another 25-30 people over there. Now, how is it that they reach? This is the real part. We need to, for this answer, if we want to, this question will never go. This question is going to remain. Some such kind of question will, tomorrow the questionnaire format will change, but this question won't go because this is an underprivileged society and government really wants to work on it. So then in that case, how do we reach these people is the issue that comes. To find out those NGOs who are working for these people. Second, find out those schools who are working for these students. Find out those institutions where such people work. Approach them. Tell them what you wish to offer. And then you will be able to see some change coming into the picture. There are every organization has these blind schools. There are some technical institutes for blind men, or for the variety of Divyanga. There are institutions for dumb and deaf. There are institutions for and national associations for it. There are organizations who do surgeries for these, or hospitals who do surgeries for these people. Approach them, make MOUs with them. See to it that unless we reach these communities are not going to come to us. There are two things. One, the person who is suffering from such kind of issues, he is not able to reach the organization. Number two, the society that supports or it could be a family who has a blind child. It is quite possible that the society, the family is now unable to think anything about his future. So they may not come to you. So we need to go to them. This is one thing that we need to do, where you can go for such kind of tie-ups. Tie up with NGOs, tie up with such kind of schools. That अगर ऐसे बच्चे हो तो हम आपके हमारे कॉलेज में उनको एडमिशन देंगे, हम एक पैसा फी नहीं लेंगे. इतना ही नहीं, there are so many fellowships and scholarships that can be arranged for them. We can literally find it out and you will find it. This is one part which we fail because we fail in these questions. Same is the case with the category students. What I find is that in the metropolitan cities, the standard of living is fair. I don't say great, but many a times the students who come to my college, they say इतना ही तो पैसे मिलने वाले, 2000 तो मिलने वाले, 3000 तो मिलने वाले, फी मेरी 1000 रुपए, वही मुझे वापस मिलने वाली, तो क्या बड़ी बात है, नहीं फॉर्म के भरा तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है. I recollect one of the parents when he had come for admission, he said that what is the fee for microbiology? I said, well, we are a government institution, so हमारी paid fee जो है paid student के लिए, at that time it was 3009 something rupees. So he said, no, we belong to category. So he said it is 1000 rupees. तो बोले कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, वो तो क्या ऐसे भी भर सकती है, अभी मेरे जेब में अभी मैं आपको दे देता हूँ. Then we said, please fill up the form because you are from category. तो ये आपको आपकी फी भी वापस मिल जाएगी. तो मैं क्या 1000 रुपए के लिए क्या करना है? But what is its impact? One part is that though they may take the admission, if they are not going to fill up that form, that money is not going to go to them, and then government it's going to cost us. 5.1.1 की बात कर रहा हूँ. So see to it that these things are promoted. If the parent is not going to buy it, see to it that the student buys it. And I recollect one of our office staff, he was given this job and he was very intelligent in this issue. In the previous year, we had received 2 lakh rupees, and in the next year, when he was given that work, he went from class to class. He advertised it. One of the students said, "एक 1,500 रुपए तो मिलने वाले थे." इससे अरे तेरे होने वाले को, तेरे पापा के नहीं होने वाले. Whatever it is, what he is going to do with his money is his problem. But what was the net result that the form was filled? And the next year we could get something like 17 to 18 lakh rupees. Now look at the amount, the difference, 2 lakhs to 18 lakhs. Create your professionals, create your people to see to it that, because NAC promotes government policies, NAC promotes UGC. So any policy that is going to come from the government, if it is going to be promoted by the college, it is going to give bonus to the college. Because we don't understand these benchmarks which have been set up by the government, therefore we are worried. 1:30 ये benchmark आर्ट्स कॉमर्स कॉलेज के लिए यूजीसी ने सेटअप किया है. 1:20 ये benchmark AICTE ने सेटअप किया है, तो वो फॉलो हो रहा है उस तरीके से. So understand with whom are we working. So उनके benchmarks क्या है? ये NAC का अपना benchmark नहीं बताने वाला. This is one thing that I wanted to tell you. So understand what the logic is, and accordingly you can start working it out. Second part is that Gauri was showing quality initiatives in part A. List 5 quality initiatives. Definitely put those 5 initiatives that you want to put. पर उनमें से कम एक audit होना चाहिए कोई ना कोई. the way she had shown it, it could be a audit of, academic audit हो सकता है, या फिर कोई what do you say, environmental audit हो सकता है, energy audit हो सकता है, website audit हो सकता है, cluster goes makes typical cluster along with white code does website audits हो सकते हैं. There are so many audits that you can do. Teaching learning का audit आप खुद create कर सकते हो. Show at least one audit every year. Gender audits हो सकते हैं. So look into these audits. This is what I wanted to make a mention of. At least one of the quality initiatives should be an audit. If possible, at least one initiative from each criteria comes as a initiative. If you can put that, that will help you out. Then there is one more aspect that I want to make a mention of. Data for AISHE, NIRF, university and government agencies, what we provide, see to it that it remains constant. It does not change. What is NAC checking us? NAC is checking us with our own data. किसी और के डेटा के साथ नहीं कंपेयर कर. हमने AISHE को क्या दिया है, हमने NIRF को क्या दिया है, वही डेटा वो लेते और वो कोलेट करके देखते कि इस समय आपने क्या दिया है. वहां पे 2021 स्टूडेंट बताए, यहाँ पे 2019 स्टूडेंट बताए, तो गड़बड़ आती है. और हर साल ऐसे दिखता है तो देन इट इज गोइंग टू कॉस्ट. तो सी टू इट, ये सारा डेटा जो है ये आपका बराबर वही है, भले गलत होगा पर वही है. कि अगर 2021 स्टूडेंट्स आपने NIRF में दिए तो 2021 AISHE में भी आएंगे, तो 2021 गवर्नमेंट कॉलेज में यूनिवर्सिटी के पास भी जाएगा, तो 2021 NAC के पास भी जाएंगे. If these numbers are going to change, it is going to create the discrepancy, and then the question starts, then they start arising, queries आना शुरू हो जाती है. और अगर बहुत queries आ गई तो हमारी वैल्यू घटते जाती है. So understand this. We are assessed by our own data, not by anybody else's data. This is one more thing that I wanted to make a mention of. There was one more aspect that I wanted to make a mention of about Enlist. We fill up the fees for Enlist. Teachers use it, but that use needs to be continuous. Second part is that if you have एडवांस लर्नर्स, उनको वो नंबर दो, कार्ड्स दो और उनको कुछ ना कुछ रिफर करने के लिए बोलो. Enlist is associated with NAC. Enlist का डेटा NAC लेता है. Enlist provides the details of the college. See to it that every teacher is using Enlist, is going to their website, is searching something. See to it that advanced learners that you have identified, उनको कुछ ना कुछ काम वहां पे दे रहे हैं. See to it that your master students, MSc students है, उनको कुछ ना कुछ दे रहे हैं. जितना वो डेटा तगड़ा होते जाएगा, उतना आपके लिए एडवांटेज होगा क्राइटेरिया 4 में. So these are a few things that I wanted to make a mention of when we were talking about the overall EQRs. And there are many more such small things that can keep on adding up. I think so. I have completed my say. And Kangude sir, shall we go for feedbacks now?
Just a minute. In fact, in the chat there was one query related to part C. I'm sorry to inform that in this particular framework there is no part C. There is only part A and part B. The fellow who I don't remember his name, who asked this particular question, but there is no part C nowadays. Only you have to answer, fill up the data for part A and part B. Part B is criteria, part A is the profile of the institution. So that is one query I remembered earlier, but now I answered this. Now let's go for the further. That is feedback and all these things. Yeah. Okay.
So I request the participants to please, in case there are no questions, you are requested to please, those who are interested are requested to please give their feedbacks. Just give your raise your hand so that we can request Ghanashyam to see to it that you get your chance to speak.
Sir, there are some suggestions in chat box also
Yeah, please.
from Dr. Vanita ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Vanita Sondi. I'm from University of Delhi, Vivekanand College. So overall, it was a really very nice experience. And I've been really giving this feedback to my own group, and I've shared the.
Ma'am, one request. Please,
Yeah.
can you start your camera?
Okay, just 1 second.
That's great.
How do I start it?
Wait, sir, wait.
So all the participants, those who are giving their feedback, please start your camera and mic too.
सर त्यांना आपल्याला पॅनलिस्ट मध्ये घ्यावं लागेल.
Yeah, no, panelist.
Yeah, why not? What's the problem?
Please take her in the panelist.
Yes, she's there. Ma'am, please put your microphone on. Microphone.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I'm Dr. Vanita Sondi, and teach in Vivekanand College, University of Delhi, and really loved your program. In fact, I've been praising your program so much with all my colleagues, and our principal, in fact, has said that she also wanted to join it, but unfortunately, she could not. So it's really been a very, very enriching experience. The only thing is that when you begin, I think we need to know more about the cluster, because I couldn't get too much of information either on the website.
Just go to the website, you will get all the information.
Yeah, I saw the website, but I don't think that was enough. So that is why I was requesting you to give more information, and about the speakers also. I think that's something that I would like to know, and how you got together, etc. And it's always very nice to know about everything in this course in the beginning. So that's something that I really wish you could.
Okay, we'll let you know about it, or we'll talk about it. Definitely. Yeah. Any other feedback to come? Yeah, please, any other feedback to come? We like to have feedbacks.
Dr. Masti is there.
Yes.
Shivaran Masti.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Sir, start your camera.
I think.
Yeah, start your microphone.
Okay, sir. Okay, my sound is clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir. Sir, myself, Dr. Shivanand Miste, working as a professor in Dr. Ghali College, Gadinglas in Physics Department. I have already attended the faculty development program on the IQSC coordinators at Paisipur. So all your IQSC cluster members, that is the resource persons in this workshop, also that the given lectures in that FDP Paisipur. So this workshop gives me the lot insights in the development of the new, that is the EQR, as well as the inputs we are going to increase from our college, because I have attended the 2 workshops in last sessions also in SP college also, but this workshops gives me a lot background from the best practices to the future development of the institutions. Thank you for this course.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. There is Dr. Sangeeta, some Sangeeta ma'am, she wants to talk. And Anuradha Sarkar. Dr. Anuradha, anyone, please go ahead.
I also will request Shailaja madam to speak, because she's always with us. So I'd like to hear from Shailaja madam from Delhi. So well, let's first have those who are there.
Dr. Sangeeta Shroff, may I speak?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon. So basically what I would like to say is that although Mr. Payush Pahade requested us to give a frank feedback and not just say it was good, but I think all I can say is that it was really very good. It was very excellent, and all the speakers were very, very lucid, very clear. And my main takeaway is that I got a lot of very good tips on how to answer the AQAR, So I think the ball is actually on my side of the court. I have to, put my documents in order, and now I know how to go about it in a structured and ordered manner. Of course, which means it's a wake up call for me, and I have to work more hard. But I really thank all the entire IQAC cluster for giving me very useful tips, and I congratulate all of them, and I look forward for further association with them. Thank you so much.
Which college are you from, madam?
Yes, I'm from Gokhale Institute of Politics and Economics.
Yeah.
We are a university only specialized in economics. Thank you.
Pune city? Pune or?
Yes, Pune city.
Pune.
Please.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Most welcome.
Anuradha Sarkar, madam.
Sir, good afternoon. Good afternoon to each and every panel members over here. I'm really fortunate to attend this workshop. Indeed, it has been a very helpful thing because last year I have been made the IQC coordinator. We have been accredited B by the last NAC cycle. And I really got a lot of insights from this, and I can't tell you, it was so valuable for me to attend this workshop, and it was a last minute decision. I paid the amount at 11 o'clock at night, and I think I have not made a mistake because I got so much of inputs from this, and in the chat box when I was chatting also, actually I'm still not able to get through with the Telegram group. I'll appreciate if I could get into because I have changed my mobile number, mobile handset, so I couldn't get through the group. I'll appreciate if I could get through that. I'll tell you, sir, that was so appreciable, and every point was detailed to the core. I can't tell you that I've taken up this IQC and I have got so much of inputs from this. I'm really very, very thankful. So I'm very, very happy that I could attend this workshop. I'll really be happy if I could, be associated with you all and ask questions. Of course, I won't be calling you all. I'll be sending mails to you all, and if you could answer those queries, I'll appreciate if we get a good score this time, just because of this workshop. Thank you so much.
You're from which college are you?
Sir, I'm from Neville Wadia Institute of Management Studies and Studies, Pune.
Pune. Okay. Thank you so much.
See, ma'am, yes, we have reached in that country, but we have not still reached in Pune. that is our shortcut. We will work out with this. Now I request Dr. Maria Martin.
Iyer madam is on.
Yeah. Sir, good afternoon. Good afternoon to all the panel members as well as all the participants of this workshop. In fact, this is my second workshop that I'm attending with the IQAC cluster. Before that, I was a student of Dr. Badrunnisa madam, wherein I attended ISO 9002 workshop for the last 10 days. And that experience, it was really, really amazing because I had hardly any idea about the ISO. But I have been working in Dr. NSCM First Grade College, that is NITE in Bangalore, as the principal. But before coming to this college 3 years before, I was very closely associated and working for a very long time, for 20 years nearly, in Jain University. Had worked for NAC and UGC, all that. But never ever got this kind of exposure, this kind of interaction, and the kind of information you all have given, sirs and madams and everybody. It was really amazing. I just started thinking, oh my God, what I knew was just a drop in ocean. And now, at least from that, many drops I have collected from the workshop, and maybe my water body is becoming larger. And I definitely would like to be associated with IQAC cluster forever and also in the near future. And one request to IQAC cluster is, please do conduct a workshop like this for AAA too. I think all of us are in very much need of this AAA workshop, because I have designed my own questionnaire for the AAA, done the internal audit by IQAC, tried doing the external audit by making an audit committee, of course passed in GC meeting, all that I did, but still I never knew that the external audit member should be from A grade accredited college principal. And what I got yesterday from this workshop, it was really, I mean, I have no words to explain this for all of you. And very, very approachable team, very friendly, very approachable, ready to help. I'm really thankful to you all, sir. and my heartfelt thanks as well as appreciation to.
Thank you and
Thank
most
you so
welcome.
much.
Thank you and most welcome.
Pardon,
Thank you.
You
Yeah.
please respond on the behalf of cluster.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
please.
Sir. Yeah.
I will, but I will like to request Shailaja madam to please speak. She's from Delhi.
Okay.
It's my request to her.
There are
If
two.
she's there.
There are
Shailaja madam, she's from Delhi, and is she there?
Yeah, she's there.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, sir. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning to everyone. In fact, it seems so familiar for me. Whenever I enroll for your courses, it's like I know almost everybody because I, yes, ma'am, that's true. You know, I have, of course, immensely benefited from all these trainings. I have been attending IQAC Cluster India's training sessions from 2018 when I visited Bombay. And from then onwards, when in much later, IQAC Cluster India moved on to webinars, it's very rarely I have probably left a few sessions or trainings. Generally, I have, more than 10. Easily say, I think it was much more all. I attended, I have benefited immensely, not just personally, whatever I gained from these workshops and webinars, I have taken it back to my own team. Some of them have joined me in some already. I would want to listen to everybody because this is also a space for learning, collective learning, in the sense we get to listen to other people across India. That is your reach. So I appreciate all of you. And for me, when I look at all of you, the work, the kind of work you are doing, for me, it's just the teachers, teachers, and how immensely committed you are to your own profession. And I know in this particular room, all those who have enrolled in these courses also have been entrusted by their own colleges serious roles. So that itself shows that they are somebody special in their own college who have been handpicked by their own management. So I wish all the best to your future work. And I would also get into your other apps which you have developed. I would like to know more about it, but I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. जरा जबरदस्ती से आज आपको पकड़ के लाया, वरना आप बात नहीं करती हो.
I have always given, and I'm a well-wisher of IQAC Cluster.
I know that you are a well-wisher of IQAC Cluster. I know that you are present for a very large number of programs. So I thought that you are the best person to talk about IQAC Cluster.
Pardon, sir. Now there are three more participants. Dr. Maria Joseph.
Yeah,
Dr. Maria Joseph. I request him.
Yeah.
Then Anuj Singh, and finally Mr. Rajesh Kumar. Maria Joseph.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sirs. I'm very familiar with IQAC Cluster India because I have been attending all your programs, and I was so interested in your programs too.
Maria, sir, please introduce yourself,
yes,
from where you are. That's
okay.
the important part.
See, I am from Kerala, Mary Mother Arts and Science College, Manandwadi, principal of Mary Mother Arts and Science College. However, I have been attending all the programs of IQAC Cluster India whenever I am free, because this is my 18th program, I suppose. And I am very familiar to all of you, especially Piyush Pahade sir. Pahade sir is like my friend. Whenever I am in a trouble, I always consult him. Also, Bharat Kangude sir, then the madam, then our Badranisa madam. Everybody is very familiar to me. And thank you so much. You are doing a wonderful job, because across India, you are giving a very good quality improvement program for everyone. So I am very happy. So whenever I get a chance and opportunity, I attend this program. I wish you all the best. I have already paid for the membership also. I hope you will be starting your app and everything very soon. Thank you so much, sir, and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for kind response.
Martin, sir. Thank you very
Now
much.
I call upon Mrs. Anju Singh.
Very good afternoon to all of you. This is the second course. I am Anju Singh. I am an assistant professor of law at SVKM's Praveen Gandhi College of Law at Mumbai. And this is the second course I have attended. The first one was on documentation. I'm sorry I will not be able to switch on my video.
It's okay.
But I would like to thank all of you. First of all, Piyush Pahade sir, Kangude sir, Gauri ma'am, Ayub sir. The best part I have liked of both the courses is how you simplify the data collection, how you simplify documentation. I would also like to appreciate that you take up every question which is put up to you, the simplest, the silliest, and the most complex. So, and with patience, you give us answers. You also try to explain to us. And I also heard Dr. Hemant sir for the first time. I was very, very impressed with his criteria 1 and 2. And thank you, sir, for all your detailed inputs. I felt, but just one thing I would like to suggest, that some of the criteria are very vast, and due to the duration of this program, we some of them had to be rushed through, which I can understand. So maybe next time you can increase the duration of the course, which will make it a little bit more. We can grasp it with more retention. So that would be my suggestion. But otherwise, very a lot of thanks and gratitude for all of you.
Thank you so much. Yes. Kangude sir, unmute kara.
Now I call upon Mr. Rajesh Kumar. Mr. Rajesh Kumar, please unmute and okay. Then Dr. Nisha Vasishtha.
Namaskar, sir.
Yeah.
I am Nisha Vasishtha. I am IQAC coordinator, Miranda House College, University of Delhi. It was indeed a privilege for me to attend this program. And it was definitely a very enriching program. And all of you, could make the thing so crystal clear that I feel that now I am equipped. I have, just joined IQAC as a coordinator. And I feel quite equipped to, do the work more efficiently and effectively. I'll be definitely looking forward to attend more of your programs. And I will definitely take back to my own colleagues now the things which I have learned from here. So need to ask one thing, how to, one of you definitely mentioned during the program that we can create a portal between the college and the cluster. How to go about it?
You just let us know, or we will contact you. And we always request that let your principal, maybe someone from the management be there. We will like to explain out all the features of what the portal is, what it tells you, what it gives you. All these details are talked out, are discussed out. And once you accept it out, we go with the portal. It comes with it's a year-long 24/7 support that we offer to you. And it comes at a nominal cost. It's not a very big cost. It depends on, we can definitely talk it out. Definitely, not an issue.
Thank you so
we
much.
will communicate you very soon, definitely. If you're interested in it, just let us know you're interested, we can communicate, not an issue.
Perfect, sir. Thank you, sir.
Or we will reach you, not an issue.
All right. Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Pardon, sir, I think there is now no.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much. On the first day, we had just mentioned out how the story of cluster began was. Let's take 2 minutes over there and then we will be thanking everybody. In 2017, when the new guidelines came into picture, looking at those guidelines and looking at the previous guidelines, we felt that this is extremely difficult for any college to go ahead with these guidelines. The bigger part was that they had gone for a process called as BVV. And this DVV process was really very perplexing because you cannot fiddle with numbers. Moreover, none of us knew what the benchmarks are. And so a few people, me, Kangude sir, and Shri Hari was there. Some of us gathered at a college called Modern College Ganesh Kent. And we said, let's come together and let's try to work out, see what we can do. Kangude sir that year had conducted one national level seminar at his college in January. Actually, I was to join there, but I could not join it for some very genuine reasons. But he had started a WhatsApp group. So we said, and that WhatsApp group had some 20-25 IQAC coordinators who had come for that particular program. So this event took place, and then we said, why not use that platform and let's start discussing out what these questions are and what possibly they mean. Everything was in the dark. So we started looking at these questions. We would meet, we would discuss, we would talk, we would chat, and each day we used to take one metric and try to answer it out. And this started working out like anything, and within a short time, we had 256 full in that particular WhatsApp group. In the meanwhile, what we thought was that if we wish to know more about it, we need to share. This is the biggest aspect that I wish to make a mention. We don't share, and so we lose. We have 40,000, 50,000 organizations in India. They are all on islands. They are not connected to each other. They don't share. And because we don't share, we lose. This is the biggest part. The success of cluster came into sharing. We started sharing out on what we knew. We started discussing, and slowly the team started coming together. The next step that we took on was that let's bring these colleges together. But we were not a registered body. So what we thought was that let us bring these colleges together and have a MOU between these colleges. This first MOU was conducted in 2017 in Modern College only, where some 30-35 colleges came together. And then we had MOU 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 MOUs in Maharashtra itself. And when these MOUs were being made, what we came to know was, see, for NSS, you have a program kept by the government where the NSS coordinator is trained for 3 days, 5 days, and then he starts working. But for IQAC, there is no training. There is no coordinator. The government does not think about quality. Even after 3 years that we are working out, we still don't find about on which the college, for example, on NAC, we spend 5 lakhs straight. Fees ही उसकी 5 lakhs है. और उसके लिए ट्रेनिंग 3 दिन का नहीं है हमारे पास. उस NAC के इवेंट के लिए कॉलेज और 5-50 लाख, 1 करोड़, 2 करोड़, 10 करोड़ खर्चा करता है. पर ट्रेनिंग के ऊपर हम कभी नहीं खर्चा करते. Just look at any college. You look at your college. We don't spend on trainings. We don't see. Look at any industry. You look at industry. You look at any profession. You look at the lawyers. You look at the engineers. You look at the doctors. They have some or the other agency which works on training. It is only teachers where there is no training. What is our training? Refresher किया क्या, ओरिएंटेशन किया क्या. उस ओरिएंटेशन को लेके आप कॉलेज में जाओगे तो उसके साथ आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते. And therefore cluster thought that we need to fill this space. So within a few months time, in the next March, that is in the coming March, in 2018 March, we went in for the first program on NAC guidelines at HRDC Pune. That is how we came into association with HRDC. Then we had 7 such programs in a row. Then in 2018, when the new guidelines came in, we decided target 1,500, and we tried to reach 1,500 people. That was physically that time. And we conducted those seminars and webinars over there, not webinars, seminars, and we tried to explain what these new AQARs are. In this way, we could reach. This was an end. This movement is entirely a movement of teachers. There is no one from the government. There is nothing. I recollect out. I was 2 months ago. I was talking to one of the NAC officials, and he said that you charge money for the courses that you conduct. I said, you give us money, we will give it free to the teacher, to everyone else. So he said, how can you take money? If you are taking money, then how is it so? I said, how, if we are dealing with people, if we are dealing through technology, and if there is a cost, and if government is not going to pay us, how are we going to run this show? Actually, you should talk to us, you should tell us. And this is what we tell RUSA also. We have such wonderful courses. Why don't you link it up? RUSA has its own app and nobody uses it. We have a documentation course where we prepare the first document. They have an app on which it can be uploaded, RUSA Maharashtra. Unfortunately, if they are not going to come with us, that app is not going to be used. We have already trained more than 300 IQAC personnel, and with more than 70 to 80 institutions. So here you are able to see, if the government does not come, that does not mean that teachers need not be trained for the institutions. And ये जो हम ज्ञान आया है, ये एक्सपीरियंस के साथ आया है. So this is how the cluster has come into picture. And so that cluster becomes an official body. We have got it registered after 3 years, after we saw that yes, we can definitely succeed. And we have come out with a very large number of programs. If somebody is saying over here that I have attended more than 18 programs, nobody attends the same program again. So, and we wish that we reach in all the parts of India. We have special programs for the Northeast where we don't charge a single paisa. We have special programs for Jammu and Kashmir. If they say so that I am from Jammu and Kashmir, for any program we will not charge a single paisa. If somebody says that I come from a deprived area and we deserve this program, he will get it for free. This can be done only because we are teachers. So with this brief information, there are so many programs that we have our courses. We have a course on documentation. We have a course on audits. We have a course on institutional quality, which is for the principals and IQAC coordinators. And where your homework is, go and work at your home, that is at your institution. An academic calendar is taught, how to prepare it, go and create an academic calendar in your organization. How to create it, that we will tell us. Mr. Madam is here with us. So you work it out. We want the institutions to become better. We want the institutions to come to us. We want to work with the institutions. When we work with the individuals, it becomes costlier for the individual. When we work with the institutions, it becomes cheaper for the institution. Trust me, when the documentation course was being conducted, we have given away, the fee was something like 3,600 for 3 months and with more than 80 hours of training. When it was to be given to an institution and when there were 15 people from an institution, the cost was 1,500, half the cost. Why? If there are 15 people in an institution, they will definitely improvise the institution. If there is one person in the institution, he will have to take a lot of effort to improvise another 50 people. So we want the institutions to join us. We are searching for good people. This is the podium, this is the platform for the teachers to shoot up. Trust us, 1 year ago, we did not know Badrunisa Madam. She is here. She is conducting the 2 courses. If you have it, this is the platform. We want to spread, we want to reach. It's not about money. It's about reaching the organization. It's about reaching the people. It is about achieving those qualities. I think so. We have talked a lot about it today. And people who wish to join us, they can just join us. If whatever things that you have, just add to us. It will go all over India. It will give name and fame to the individual. It will give qualities and skills to the Indians. And this is the best way to contribute to our field. That's what we feel. I'm thankful to all the members who have attended this workshop. I'm thankful to all the clusterites who were here all the time. I'm thankful to Whitecode for being with us, who is very, very much with us. They support every idea of ours and try to make this a success.
Thank you. Thank you, Pahade sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Nice. So thankful for your presentation of this IQAC cluster and all its activities. Now, anyone from the panel would like to say something? Shankar sir, Gauri ma'am, or anyone else?
Badrunisa madam.
Badrunisa madam, you just 1 or 2 minutes.
Thank you, Kangude sir. I enjoyed Gauri madam's presentation very well, and the questions reflect that there was a complete involvement, you see, in the participants and what is being presented, and they also know what is required. So I congratulate, you see, the organizers for the excellent work that they've been doing, and we hope with this we'll be able to light up all the colleges with quality sustenance. Thank you.
Yeah. Badrunisa ma'am, you.
Yes, sir. A very warm good afternoon to all the clusterites and the participants of this workshop. Always cluster thinks every time, every member of the cluster always will be thinking about what to be done to help the institution, to improve the institutions, to sustain a quality, to make every institution to have the quality with them and NAAC accredited. As the decision being done by the government as well as the NAAC people that by 2023, every institution should be NAAC. So IQAC cluster is a platform where you will get the ideas how you can move faster and in a proper way. Generally, what happens that the institutes which are going first time or the first cycle of NAAC, they feel difficulty in understanding the questions. That is the biggest thing. And the second thing is segregating or separating the documents and uploading how exactly which document and where it has to go. That was really a great job which IQAC coordinator has to do and all the criteria heads has to work. Cluster will provide such kind of courses and workshops which really gives an idea and makes the institute ready in a year of time to be ready to upload their documents. And if they follow the clarity what the cluster gives in their workshops or in their courses, like Piyush sir was mentioning the few courses as well as number of workshops as the participants also have told about, then it is really a way that you are going perfectly with the quality, and hopefully you will get the good grade also if you follow the proper sections what has been told in the workshop or in the courses. I would like to just say the participants to think over that what is your future and what you are thinking with your institution, and do connect with cluster so that you can take as much as possible the help from the cluster. And I congratulate all the members who have organized this AQR, which was really a need of the hour, because 30th May is the last day of submitting this AQR, and everybody were tensed. I think this workshop has made much of the things clear as per the feedbacks, what I can say. So once again, thank you all, and thank you all the organizers of this workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Actually, there are almost 46,000 colleges, and out of that, only 100 people in this. So actually, problem is very big, but still, whatever we are
Problem
doing
is big, but we are putting all our efforts to make it clear, but they have to come forward to take the help. See, sometimes it happens that people want to help, but sometimes if you want to do a free help, people think that it's okay, we will take it later. It happens. So, but our motto is to make as maximum as the colleges to be a qualified or quality colleges by 2023.
Okay.
And currently, we are associated with more than 1,500 colleges.
Yes.
Kangude sir, आज यहाँ पे 100 लोग होंगे, पर ये 3 साल से जो है वो अपने साथ ही है ना. That's a bigger part.
So,
and the community is growing.
Now let us go to the last part of this function. Now I request Professor Raju Golab sir, being a member of IQAC cluster from the beginning, to please go for vote of thanks for this entire program. Golab sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of the IQAC Cluster India, I would like to thank all the participants first, because without their participation, we could not organize such a program. Then I would like to thank all the office bearers of IQAC Cluster India, that is President Professor Piyush Pahade sir, Secretary Dr. Bhole sir, and Professor Parag Shah sir, Treasurer, and Professor Bharat Kangude sir, Joint Secretary, and all the other members of the IQAC Cluster India. And my special thanks are to technical team, that is White Code, and I would like to thank all the resource persons, Dr. Hemant Chandak sir, Professor Bharat Kangude sir, Dr. Ayub Sheikh sir, and Professor Gauri Devasthale ma'am, for providing such a tremendous information to all the participants, which will definitely help them to fill up the AQR 2019-20. I would like to thank all the members and all the participants, and with the permission of the panelists, I would like to stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, Golab sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you
And
all.
participants, please be associated with the IQAC Cluster of India. You get a lot of much information and help maybe in the future. So your contribution is well solicited. It will help us to grow, all of us. It will grow all of us with your contribution. So be a part of this movement and this organization. It will help you all in future too.
And the next course is coming very soon on the 19th, 20th, and 21st on best practices, on feedbacks and SSS. So please be there with us. Please help us to spread the message.
And join the Telegram channel as well. Telegram group.
We have many programs in our in the future. We are running many programs for you all. So please be a part of this, and that will be helpful for you. So and what about this feedback link, sir? Ganesham?
सर आपण नंतर मेल वरती
So all you will get a feedback link on the mail, your mail, and please be responsible and give a good, correct feedback. That will help us to grow again. Okay, thank you all.
Thank you very much
Yes.
for a patient listening.
Thank you.